Hey everybody, it's Finn from Playhouse. Just wanted to do a quick news video off the back of today's Nintendo Direct Mini. As you see today, they announced the Control Cloud version. This was very interesting to me. They announced this and they announced the Hitman Cloud version as well. It was very interesting to me. I'm not sure if it's a move from Nintendo or just a coincidence that both these companies were working on cloud versions of their games to port to the Switch, and just both happened to get announced on the same day. Hitman didn't get a release date for, but Control is released today on the Nintendo Switch. And they offer this trial, limited time trial, so you're able to basically test this out, see if your internet can handle it and how it runs. And I thought it was very interesting. Nintendo, I thought, would be way behind in terms of getting cloud gaming to work on their hardware. So this is very interesting to me to see if it worked at all and why they'd be willing to partner up with Remedy here for this. So as you see here, they give you a little warning, basically telling you like you need a stable internet connection, basically common sense. And then they allow you two different versions of the trial, which is an enhanced performance trial and a graphics trial. Since it was a limited time, I was only able to try the performance version. I don't know if there's how those two compare really in terms of performance, but I imagine my assumption is that the enhanced performance is focused on frame rate and getting to work if you have a less stable connection, and enhanced graphics is really pushing the boat out and trying to get the most of the streaming hardware. But as you'll see when I booted this up initially, they gave me, there was a problem with the server capacity. I had to wait in the queue. Let's skip past that. And you see me actually running the game here. They give you a few options at the start in terms of graphics, but mostly to do with brightness, nothing really to affect the quality of the gameplay or anything like that. So here you see the opening cutscene they gave you, running pretty smoothly so far. Those of you with a keen eye will notice like a few jitters here and there. Seems like it's running stable performance in terms of frame rate, just like a few jitters, which is hard to notice unless you're actually looking out for them. The only other thing I noticed is when you're in dark areas, and I'm not sure if it will show up in this recording, but in areas where there was like different variations of black, like night sky and dark underhangs over there, I was able to notice some weird pixely blocks that you'll be familiar with if you've ever streamed video on Netflix or anything. It's just the bitrate wasn't high enough. Just minor nitpicking at this stage. Let's skip ahead. We're not too worried about the cutscene in this scenario. Let's skip ahead to the gameplay. And you'll see here that things tend to be running pretty smoothly. I've never played Control before, so excuse me if I skip by some stuff that is important to the story. I wasn't really focused on that as much as how the game runs and how the streaming technology works. So everything seems to be running pretty smoothly. Graphic-wise, even though I'm on performance mode, it seems to be pretty nice. Just sort of eyeing around the room, seeing how everything looks pretty nice. Some nice reflections there. Again, I wonder if they sort of looked at this and realized that Control, they weren't able to put it on Switch hardware. You see there, there's a weird thing telling you to open the Nintendo Wii shop. I couldn't get rid of that for the duration of my playthrough, so that's just going to be there, unfortunately. You see in these dark rooms, it's kind of hard to see. I wonder if natively, if that was running, would that room be a little bit nicer in terms of the dark shadows and such. But everything seems to be quite nice. Probably one of the best streaming performances I've had. We're not at anything too intensive just yet, but you'll see when we get into combat in a second here that it seems to hold up quite well in intense scenarios. Control can definitely be very processor intensive and graphics intensive, especially in the zero gravity scenes, and when you're pushing stuff about. I didn't actually get to that. I was just able to do a little bit of shooting here, as you're about to see. It held up quite nice. Forgive my aim in this. I wasn't sure initially if my aim was off due to the delay in the cloud, or if it was just I hadn't played Control before and I was just getting rough at it. I do get to grips with it eventually, even though this is just atrocious what's happening here. But yeah, I was able to get a few shots off, and yeah, it didn't feel like there was too much of a delay in terms of input lag or anything like that. I imagine if you're a speedrunner or someone who's played Control a lot, you might notice a bit more delay than me, who's never played it. But no, I was quite optimistic. I was, yeah, you see me just completely botch a few shots there. I was quite optimistic in terms of how well it did. I could see myself playing this just like as my way to play Control. Yeah, I didn't really feel like, there was too much of a difference between whether I would have played this on cloud or whether I would have played this on my PS4, say. Maybe that's again just me not playing it and not understanding the differences, but yeah, it felt quite nice. I could definitely sit down and play through this game, I think, the whole way without being too annoyed by the technology. And you see there as I'm running around, shots are going by, the frame rate's still holding up quite nicely. Input wise, I'm still trying to get a hang of the shots, but it's still quite nice. Yeah, I like the idea of them giving you the option to try a game before you buy. I always like demos in general, but specifically for cloud gaming, I think it's a necessity for people to see how well the technology runs and how well it's able to cope with their internet speed. I'll show up a little bit of my a speed test I did just right after this, just to give you a little bit of an insight about what my internet's like and how it's handling this game. Nothing major. Again, there's a few people in my house. I don't think anyone was using the internet or streaming anything while I was playing, so that may have affected it. But yeah, I encourage you to, if you're interested in this, to try it out on your own internet to see how it runs. And I'll be interested to know. Please let me know in the comments if you have tried it, how it ran on your internet, because yeah, I'll be interested to see this. Yeah, you can see me again starting to get the hang of the shooting mechanics. Not totally yet. Yeah, some fast-moving graphical action there, and it held up pretty well. Yeah, I could definitely see me playing through this whole game if this was how it was going to hold up the whole time. Yeah, again, it didn't let me go any further in this, as you see in a minute. The trial stops, but yeah, I'll be interested to see when Control notorious for items flinging around in destructible environments. You see a lot of papers flying around there, and yeah, like the anti-gravity sections where you're throwing chairs around and stuff. I'll be interested to see how it holds up then. But yeah, optimistic from what I played in this demo. But yeah, if this sort of thing takes off, and yeah, it works for Control, it works for Hitman, it might extend the Switch's life cycle a little bit, I think. Everyone's talking about the Switch Pro to try and run these new next-gen games on Nintendo hardware and sort of not leave the Switch behind in terms of its capabilities. But if we're able to sort of do this with the cloud, it will sort of negate a lot of that, I think. I assume this is running on PC hardware on the back end. Again, there's not a lot we know about the back end right now. They didn't really go into it in the direct. But I'll be interested when more details on that arise. So yeah, just wandering through here. Some really nice lighting. Again, the bitrate, sometimes you see a little bit of like pixel rough edges. But nothing too annoying. And then here you see my trial ends. I'm not able to progress any further. So yeah, just a little taste. I was quite impressed by what I played. I think this is probably the most encouraging cloud gaming thing I've had. And I've played on xCloud, I've played in Stadia, and I've tried all these different things. This is definitely the most interesting to me in terms of how far we are in terms of, cloud gaming being really viable. So I'll be interested to see how this goes with the full version. I'll be interested to see how Hitman performs and whether this really takes off for the Switch. But until then, try it out for yourself. Let me know what you think about it. And yeah, this has been Finn from Playhouse, and I hope you've enjoyed the video.